Ready? Believe that. You hear me. But first off, SKOL Vikes, win, lose, or draw. SKOL Vikes, win, lose, or draw. Right, right. Now we know it's the off season. The off season has already officially begun, officially kicked off. And with that being said, no more regular season, but this is a season in itself. Probably one of the most important off seasons in Minnesota Vikings history, correct? I want to get into a topic about Jordan Addison. Some rumors, speculations, about the Vikings possibly trading Jordan Addison. You know, not accepting his fifth-year option. The question is, will it make sense? If it does or doesn't make sense. Now, I'm against trading Jordan Addison. I feel like you sign him and you do pick up his fifth-year option. A lot of people may say, oh, he didn't have a real productive year this season, huh? He dropped some passes. All receivers was dropping passes, right? Jettas, huh? Naylor dropped some passes in some games, and I understand Jordan Addison had some big drops. But at the end of the day, from the outside looking in, we all know and we understand how great of an asset that Jordan Addison is and what he really brings to the table when he's locked in and fully prepared. That Detroit Lion reverse when he took it to the house, I believe he got up to 21 miles per hour. That tells you right there the weapon he is. The biggest thing for Swaggy Addy, he just has to keep his mind right and stay focused, keeping the right people around him, zoning in, working on his crafts. This will be a big off season for him, especially people waiting to watch and see if he stays out of trouble, if he stays zoned in, if he stays locked in. So this is a major off season for him coming up. He is really going to be playing and performing for that bag. But at the end of the day, Jordan Addison is a weapon. He is a true 1B, period. I don't care what nobody talking about, right? Right. Then you got people who say, oh, get him up out of there. He shouldn't be in the building. Everybody last year was saying he's a criminal. Or suspend him, fire him, put him on a bench, etc., etc., etc. Now I understand he has to stay out of trouble. He must stay obedient as far as, doing his job as an NFL professional football player. He must show up to meetings on time. He must stay out the spotlight, right? He must stay out of trouble. Can't be no falling asleep by the airport because he drunk or whatever. But we're all growing pains. And we've seen Vikings coaches get DWIs, all that, and never be held accountable. So at the end of the day, he is still growing. Hopefully this year he spends more time with Jettas, works with him in the off season, and continues to grow and develop. But I'm the first one to stand here and sit here and vouch for Jordan Addison. You do not trade him. You keep him in the building. I mean, hell, I would rather see them keep all the core of the receiving room together. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and Jalen Naylor, baby. No cap. Heavy. You can't coach, you can't teach chemistry, right? Cohesion, etc. These guys have been together for years, and you see it all starting to pan out. It was a rough season, but it had a lot more to do with coaching, O-line instead of receivers. Let's not get ridiculous with it and act like Jordan Addison is not one of them dudes. Period. Let's go ahead and dive into this article right quick. Off season, a lot of things being said, huh? A lot of things, people saying this, huh? People saying that. Sometimes you got to be careful. You got to be real careful about who you believe, which beat writers you believe. Because at the end of the day, this is the world we live in. Some people just make up anything, even if it's lies. You hear me? For a view, for the clout, for the guapino, the federale, the denali, etc. Here we go. Boom. Viking Jordan Addison news emerges before free agency. The Minnesota Vikings are facing many crossroads ahead with their existing roster, including wide receiver Jordan Addison. Selected Selected 23rd overall in the 2023 draft, Addison is entering the final year of his rookie contract and is eligible for a fifth year option, which would keep him under contract through the 2027 season at a below market rate for a top tier number 2 wide receiver. Addison has proved himself plenty on the field. He's averaged 885 yards receiving and totaled 22 touchdowns in 46 career games. But off the field, Addison has put the organization in a tough spot several times. He committed several driving offenses in his first 2 years in the league, the latest of which caused him to be suspended for the first 3 games of the 2025 season. That's no matter so long as Addison can stay out of trouble. NFL.com's Mark Ross urged the Vikings to exercise Addison's fifth year option, which would schedule $17.5 million guaranteed to Addison for the 2027 season, worth more than his entire 4-year, $13.4 million rookie deal. Yes, yes, you definitely exercise his fifth year option, period. Dude's a baller, dude's a player, dog. Heavy, no cap. We can't ignore his absence during a 3-game suspension to start the season, and there have been some inconsistencies to his game, but Addison has often been a playmaker in Kevin O'Connell's offense. Big facts, correct? Correct. Ross wrote on January 8th, yes, his totals have decreased in each of his 3 seasons, but the entire offense took a step back in 25 due to poor QB play. Here we go again. It's always QB play, bro. It's always poor QB play. It's never KOC. It's never the O-line. I told you all year long, right? All year long, they were going to try to make J.J. McCarthy the scapegoat. And he did set a new career high in yards per catch, 14.5. It'd be smart to keep key pieces together for the foreseeable future in hopes of getting the most out of J.J. McCarthy or whoever lines up under center. Vikings could reverse NFL punishment for Jordan Addison with a fifth-year option. Addison assured the Vikings that his troublemaking days are behind him when he managed to not have any more run-ins with the law last off-season, when he was facing a DUI charge. The NFL suspension of Addison relinquished any guarantees from his 26 base salary. A fifth-year option would reverse that decision. However, Addison did step out of line on the Vikings trip to London, which could impact the team's decision to exercise his fifth-year option. Now, if you let this man being late to a meeting affect your decision on exercising his fifth-year option, the Vikings are very delusional. You hear me? Period. Jordan Addison's London behavior could leave doubts for Vikings. While the Vikings spent 2 weeks overseas in the United Kingdom during Week 4 and Week 5, Addison skipped the team walkthrough, which led to him being benched for the first quarter against the Cleveland Browns. Addison recidified his mistake, catching a game-clinching touchdown with 25 seconds left in regulation. That seems to be the story with Addison, whose performance on the field has made him difficult to deny despite his off-field issues. Addison's misbehavior has been relatively minor and seemingly tolerable. Otherwise, the Vikings would have cut him. Big facts, you hear me, huh? Yeah. Exercising his fifth-year option is a no-brainer. But while many of his fellow 2023 first-round picks may be in line for extensions, Addison may need to prove his worth once more before hitting a major payday. Meanwhile, the Vikings also have a decision on whether to re-sign number 3 receiver Jalen Nailor, who could provide the Vikings leverage in Addison negotiations going forward. Now, if it comes down between Jordan Addison and Jalen Nailor, I mean, if we talk about the season alone, Nailor probably did slightly outperform Addison, but are you taking Nailor over Addy? No disrespect to Speedy, right? Right. But I would still stick with Jordan Addison as far as my true 2. You hear me? Heavy? Yeah. And the whole Vikings wide receiving core dropped a lot of balls this year. Period, man. Now, hopefully they can keep both of these guys in the building, you know? That would be ideal. Oh, yeah, but we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what shakes, how it pans out. Just stay tuned. Give me some room. But if I was the Vikings, I would definitely exercise Jordan Addison's 5th-year option and do whatever they had to do to keep him in the building. Right? Right. Hey, fire them comments up. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Big SKOL here. SKOL Vikes, win, lose, or draw forever. And guess what? We run the North. Yeah. Believe that. SKOL Vikes.